Hi, folks, and thanks for joining us today for our Let's Talk Career series. For the viewers that are tuning in or those that are going to watch the video after, just to let you know that the purpose of this series is to highlight different careers for those of you who may be interested in learning more. What we do is offer a unique opportunity to view these careers from a personal perspective point of view. So for today, we're going to welcome our friend from the Barton Village BIA, Rachel Braithwaite.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everybody listening. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us today, Rachel. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the Barton Village BIA?
Totally. So BIA stands for Business Improvement Area Association. And we basically help support an area to be attractive for people to come to spend time in, to shop at our businesses. Our focus, I was reading something today and it summed it up really well. Our focus is to make the area better, not necessarily to make the businesses better. We have amazing businesses on Barton Street that do an amazing job at being the best businesses in Hamilton. Slightly biased, but that's what I believe. So they don't need my help to make their business better, but we do support them with attracting people to the area, to changing that perception that people sometimes still have about Barton Street that is so wrong. So that's kind of our focus. We do that through lots of different things. So we do it through simple things like sweeping the street so that the garbage is gone, putting in planters, putting up banners so it's prettier and greener, and then through events. So we do a big street festival in the summer usually and bring about 25,000 people down to Barton Street. And that's a really good one to help showcase Barton and change that perception so that people know Barton is the best place to be.
How long have you been in this role, Rachel?
Good question. So I've been in the role for about 6 years now. I initially started in the role on a part-time basis. It was not a full-time position. And as tasks and capacity increased, so did my hours. So now I'm a full-time staff. And actually we have 2 part-time staff that work with me as well. So it's really increased over the years for sure.
That's amazing. And what did your education look like for this job? Is this something that you thought about, you started in? Did you get started in something else and it turned into a job?
I had no clue what a BIA was before I was on the position, pretty much.
Yep.
So I went to school, quite a few years ago. So I went to Sheridan for business finance, and then I went to Ryerson for business entrepreneurship. So a great fit actually for the position, but not a requirement by any means. My work history, I worked in the Royal Bank for a little while, so learned customer service, which is a good skill to have for sure in this role. And then I worked in a more admin role, support role. So good skills to have over the years. But the main reason I got the position was because I was very involved in the community. I live just off Barton Street, and I'm a very proud Bartonian. And the spec, unfortunately, was not doing us that much justice with regards to showcasing Barton in a nice light. And I was complaining at a community meeting that somebody needs to do something positive on Barton. Someone needs to do a festival or something positive to bring pride back to this community. And I sat back and said, oh, I can't say somebody needs to, I need to. So I did, with a whole bunch of amazing volunteer support from local community members as well. And we did a big festival that started at Woodlands Park. Our first year, we got 2,000 people out.
Wow.
And I reached out to the Barton Village BIA to be involved with the festival because it made sense. We were in the BIA area. And shortly after the festival, they offered me the position.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, where does the Barton Village BIA, what are the boundaries for that? Because I know there's many BIAs in the city of Hamilton. What are
There are 13 BIAs in Hamilton, over 300 in Ontario. And BIAs actually started in Toronto and now they're worldwide because it's a really good model that works, right? It's basically stronger together. So businesses and commercial property owners between, for us, Ferguson and Sherman along Barton Street
Mhm.
all pay an additional levy or tax,
Mhm.
and those funds are pooled together, and then our board of directors dictates where that money is spent. So it is a really collaborative approach. You know, you do your marketing together, you do your events together, you do your promotions, like it makes sense, right?
Mhm. Yeah, rather than try to run a business, because a lot of them are single, they're small businesses. So some of them are just run by the individual. Some just have one or two staff. So this just makes it a little bit more advantageous for everyone.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Yeah. It really is that belief of we're stronger together. And I think that's something that's really, you know, Hamilton excels at, is that collaborative piece, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you know, I didn't grow up in Hamilton. And I was amazed when I moved here at the ability for, you know, a coffee shop that's about to open, I would connect them with another coffee shop that's already on the street and
Mhm.
mentor them and work with them and
Oh
support them.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
wouldn't see it as a competition. They would see it as a, yeah, there's more of us. This is so exciting.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's really fun.
Yeah, Hamilton is very much community. It's all one for all and all for one. It's not individualized. We all help one another and support one another. It's quite a unique opportunity to live in Hamilton because you can get help with anything that you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Good question. I think my favorite part is just the interaction that I have, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, like I said before, we have some of the most amazing businesses, and it is so lovely to be able to just, you know, we even just walk down the street, and as they're out cleaning their windows, they say hi and you start up a conversation, or as they're out sweeping the sidewalk, you know, you have this lovely conversation with them.
Mhm.
And it really is truly wonderful way to integrate into that community, and then also too to just see the changes. Like I really feel blessed to kind of have that that viewpoint or that opening into all these amazing things that are happening on our street that not everybody is privy to. So for
Mhm.
example, on Barton Street we've had 13 new businesses open since COVID. Like
Wow.
that's fantastic and it's so exciting, and I'm so
Mhm.
lucky to be part of that and to know these
Excellent.
things, because often, you know, people will reach out to me and be like, oh, it must be so hard right now for the Barton businesses. And sure, I'm not going to lie, they've had it
Mhm.
tough for sure, but they have pivoted astronomically, which just goes to speak to the caliber of the businesses we've had, right? And,
Mhm.
you know, and so I just turn to them and I say, yeah, they've got it tough, but they've done amazing things. And we've had 13 new businesses open. So it's not all doom and gloom, right?
Mhm. That's amazing. And the most difficult part of your job, what would you say that was?
Um, it probably when a business closes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it is quite heartbreaking because, you know, for these entrepreneurs, they're living their dream, right? So it
Mhm.
could be a case if they've always wanted to, you know, open a coffee shop and serve customers and put their own personal touch on it and be their own boss, and
Mhm.
you know that's been their dream, and then for whatever reason, and the saddest part to me is when it is something that's wrong, if you know what I mean.
Mhm. Yep.
Prevents them from succeeding through that dream. So those things for sure break my heart a little bit. I'm grateful that we don't have too many of those.
Yeah.
Um, but when they do happen, they are very sad and frustrating. And it could be just the simplest things that if only, you know, like for example, delays with a building permit, or, you know, they weren't told the right things about what they need to do to open, and so
Mhm.
that they get a fine because they haven't met the codes or whatever, and they weren't told about the codes, so how were they supposed, like it's little things like that that I'm like, why are
Mhm.
mistakes, you know, hindering our businesses from succeeding? So
Do you would you say you act as like a lead, the BIA acts as a liaison for the businesses in the city, like a way for them to get the information that they need to help support their business? Would that be correct?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I represent small businesses on the Open for Business subcommittee, and I also
Mhm.
sit on represent small businesses on the Infection Prevention Control Committee. for the city. And then I also sit on the Ontario BIA Advocacy Committee and their board. And it's definitely, we have done so much advocacy this year. I mean, the Barton Village BIA is quite unique in that we do have to continually do advocacy just to make sure our voices are heard. But this year more than ever, we've definitely had to be that advocacy piece. And then, you know, as we get the information from the governments with regards to COVID requirements or supports, we have to then disseminate it through to our businesses for sure.
So a day in Rachel's life must be quite busy.
Just a little, for sure. And every day is different though. So it's very fun that way, right? So, and yeah, so every day is unique, every day is different, every day is somewhat what you make it too, right? So one of the wonderful things about my position is I have a wonderful board that give me some pretty long reins, if you know what I mean. So I can really customize, and I'm a big believer in networking, and so I get to meet lots of wonderful people. So it's exciting.
So we're pushing a lot. I see it a lot on social media about supporting local, supporting small business, you know, here in Hamilton, and there's so many, and you're telling me about quite a few new ones that open in the Barton area. How would a consumer go about supporting a business? Maybe they don't know about them. How would they find out about them? Where would they go? Where's the best information resource for them to do this, to support the businesses?
Great question. I would really say social media, because it's going to be the most up-to-date way you can find information. So feel free to follow us along on social media, which Instagram is probably the easiest because then you get pretty pictures to look at, which is always good. So we're just Barton Village, Barton_Village on Instagram. And we also have an Advent calendar going on through our social media right now. So every single day, we're posting a gift item that you could buy from a local small business to promote you shopping local this Christmas season, right? Yeah. You know, even just a case of sometimes just park your car and walk down the street. Every one of our businesses has social media. Not everyone has a website even. Sometimes especially in Hamilton, there are so many lovely main streets. Park your car. It's free right now, 2 hours free parking on street meters, and go for a walk and try those businesses that you're kind of like, oh, I've never been in there. I don't know. Give it a try. And you may meet the most wonderful small business owners because they truly are wonderful. They're not scary. So
that's awesome. Thank you. And anybody who would be thinking about getting into the type of role that you do, what advice or strategies would you give to someone thinking about it?
Good question. I would say volunteer. I know it's not always the easiest thing to do because time is sometimes limited, but reach out, have a conversation. You know, if you're living near a BIA, reach out to the BIA closest to you because it's always easier to work or support a BIA that you're more passionate about, and that can be the one that's closest to you. So reach out to them, say you want to be involved, even if it's a couple hours a week. I'm sure there's something they would love your help with. You know, and if you don't have a BIA near you, find one with either struggles or with things that they're doing that excites you. You know, so for example, it could be you love food. Well, maybe reach out to Ottawa Street BIA that do a great, you know, food festival, So Hungry. Or, you know, if you want to, I don't know, advocate and fight for things, come and reach out to us because we're fighters. So yeah, I would just really encourage, maybe the first step could be to follow them on social media, see if you jive with what they're doing, and then reach out to the BIA. If you don't want to volunteer, just have a conversation with the people in those roles and see what their day in their life is like, right?
That's awesome. Thank you. Anything else that you'd like to share?
I'll just re-push it. Shop local, please. Support our small businesses. Every $100 you spend at a local small business, $68 goes back into this economy. So we want Hamilton to succeed. Shop at a Hamiltonian's business.
I agree. Thank you so much, Rachel, and thank you for being a guest, and wishing you a very happy holidays, and take care of yourself.
Thanks, Catherine. Happy holidays to you.
Take care.